Back out for my morning run. They're tearing up my street. I'm watching Nick's blog right now. I'm so stoked! Yes! Yes! I just watched Nick's blog, his first blog, the one where he said what he was doing the 30-day challenge, and I am so pumped right now. This is gonna be so exciting. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. Yes. Thinking I'm so pumped for this right now. I need a quick shower, and I'll be back just like that. And I'm back. Whoa! There's a squirrel in here. What the fuck, man? Look at him. He's freaking the fuck out. He's like, how do I get out of here? Go, be free. Be free, squirrel. Where'd he go? Did it run out? Oh, there's a squirrel in here. That's crazy. All right, what did I come down here for? Right here.
Hydraulic CarQuest AW46 hydraulic oil. All right.
That's what I actually came down here for. Hope it got out. Hope I'm not locking it back in here. Maybe I'll leave this door open so I can...
Forgot I already had them in speed dial.
Call to McMaster
Or
Car may be
contact
recorded.
speed dial. God, I'm so tired.
Okay, and what are we looking at?
We're looking at part number 6519T17.
PVC tubing.
Yeah, ultra chemical resistant Versillion PVC tubing. Yeah. Can you send me about 1.5 feet of that to test?
Anything else?
That would be it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. But Master's the best. So you're probably wondering what all that conversation was about. So today, which I've alluded to in my other videos, we're going to talk about my most recent failure. I believe in failure. It's like being a phoenix, this terribly drawn phoenix. Get rid of that. What happens with building shit from scratch is that it breaks a lot and you fail a lot. So recently, I was building something and I have this. So this right here was covered in this right here. This is the Kevlar sleeve right here. And this right here went over this. And so when I rebuild this, I'm so broke, I can't afford more of this. So I'm reusing this one. So I wash it off and then it goes right there. Electro hydraulic unit to sleeve. We gotta store this somewhere dark so it doesn't degrade in the sunlight. There, that's dark. Okay. This right here would get pushed on, as I've talked about in my video before the blog, right there. And one thing I alluded to before this is that this failed. Now we're going to talk about that failure. So what happened is I had this going over here, that stand, and then I was testing it, and the muscle sits on the back over here, and I was testing this sleeve that's still a little bit oily right here. So this went around like this, and then these went on like this, and they held it down. So this right here kept the Kevlar from getting torn up and also from getting UV damage and stuff like that. So I look over, and this is on that, and I'm testing my electrohydraulic exo muscle, and then this just starts to fill up with oil. And I was like, damn, because I was working on this and I was working really hard, I was working crazy, and I was getting ready for this conference, and then I was working on this, I was getting it all together, and I was getting all the pieces together, and it was some of the fury of work, and I was going, and then I just looked over and I saw it filling with oil, and I wasn't mad. I was like, all right, that happens. Because it does happen. Because I fail all the time while I'm working on stuff. There's this entire thing I made was a series of failures. So what happened? Let's talk about what happened here. Watch. So if you can tell, right in here, right there, there's a small crease. Maybe you can see it. Hopefully, you can feel it for sure. So what happened is the rubber. What happened is the rubber like stretched and then went back together. What happens is the rubber, as it gets pulled open and closed and open and closed and open and closed, as it makes these muscles contract, the rubber is getting stretched and relaxed and stretched and relaxed and stretched and relaxed and stretched and relaxed and stretched and relaxed. And eventually, there's a fatigue failure that caused a axial strain right up, and it started to split together and split together and split together. And that tiny little hole was where it finally gave through, and that's what filled everything up with oil when I tried to pump it up and get it to work. So it didn't work. So how do we fix it? This is how we fix it. This is what's on there right now. It's called Buta-N or nitrile rubber, and you can tell just by looking at it, it's kind of a cheap rubber. It also might be too soft for what I'm doing here. So this is what was in there. This is what this is. This failed. Other options. I got this a long time ago from McMaster. That's who I was ordering from this morning to get another piece of rubber. This right here is a fluorosilicon called Viton, and it is a higher temperature, and I think just all around better material. I'm not sure though, so we got to test it. And that's where we're going next. But before I talk about that, I've also got other options. Here's silicon, and let's talk about durometer. This is like a Shore 60A durometer. This is like a Shore 80 durometer. This one's much harder. This might work better just from the fact that it's tougher. So just the fact that this is tougher, it might work. Problem is these two break down in hydraulic oil. I found someone who I also talked to this morning who has some oil that won't degrade this, but it's like $130 for 5 gallons, and that's the smallest I can buy. So I have to figure out a way to get some of that in order to test that. Or just test it with the oil I have and do that. But that's where we're going. So now I gotta test this. Cycle testing. So how am I gonna test this? It's a great question. So might not be doing this today, but I'll tell you what I'll be doing tomorrow. This right here is the stand that I made. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna put this up here like that, and there's going to be some kind of sensor that touches up here and tells it when it's at the top, and then another sensor that touches down here and tells it when it's at the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a computer, and I'm just going to have it go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I'll be able to put a counter on it too. So I'll put a counter, I'll hook it up to an Arduino, and then I'll hook it up to my computer, and I'll put a counter so it'll cycle every time, and it'll tell me what count it's on, and then I'll just write down the number at the end of each session. It'll be really boring, so I'll just have to sit there and watch it go up and down, up and down, up and down. I'll just count, and I'll wait till it fails. And when it fails, I'll know the cycle count of this system for the type of rubber. And that's what we're gonna do. Dylan out. The thumbnail. Anything for the thumbnail. Maybe a little bit too ambitious. That might work. That'll work. Just a tiny little bit. Look what I have created! I have created fire! Fire! Yes! Yes! Fire! Ooh, don't burn my mic! Gotta be some danger on this channel, right?